All right, today we're gonna be continuing our forehead routines. This one is gonna be using facial cupping, okay? So let's get started. We're gonna start right in the middle of our brows and just go straight up. And I typically do maybe like 5 to 6 strokes in each area, okay? Then we're gonna move over. I'm still right above my brow. Right away, you can see that amazing blood flow happening, right? So the difference, we're gonna talk a little bit about while we just keep doing the stroke straight up, between Botox, which freezes that muscle, and these routines that we've been doing is these routines work those muscles. And so as those muscles are being able to move and get your lymphatic flow going through there, lifting a little bit of that tissue and getting that blood flow going through there, you're actually feeding the skin. So rather than freezing the skin, you're allowing that movement of the skin, but then also with that movement, you're getting all this nutrients to the skin, right? So long term, much better for your skin overall. All right, so we're just doing those strokes straight up, okay? All the way to the end. And now we're gonna come back and do squeeze in the middle again, and this time we're gonna go horizontal all the way across. So I'll do about 6 right here, right above the brow, and then I'll move up the forehead. So I'm in the middle, squeezing right in the middle of my forehead, out to the side, and then to the top. Again, depending on how wide your forehead is, you might only need to do 2 segments. So squeezing in the middle and gliding. Okay, so the difference with facial cupping than body cupping, we don't leave the cup on the face, because when we do that, we get that, right? And it goes away. But if you were to leave it for a long time like you do with body cups, you're gonna get those red marks. If you're constantly moving, you're getting that lift of the tissue, allowing for blood flow, circulation, lymphatic drainage, and then no marks. You'll see when we start moving over to the other side, this will have totally calmed down already, okay? All right, so we went vertical up the forehead, then we went horizontal up the forehead, and now we're gonna come back and do the same thing on this side. So just going straight up. Again, this feels so good. In addition to doing so much for smoothing out the skin and allowing for that blood flow, it also feels amazing. Because again, we have all these points on our forehead that correspond to our nervous system. So as we're working those points, you're getting just an overall calming of the body. Okay, so we're gonna go back through those verticals. And you can either, go, there doesn't have to be an exact science to this. You can go ones all the way down, or you can stay in one area and do a few and then move down, or you can go back and forth. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're doing it, okay? All right, we're also, I wanna point out, when we're doing this vertical straight up, we're getting that lift of these brows, right? So in addition to smoothing out the forehead, you're gonna also start to be getting a lift of the brow and a lift of that forehead, okay? All right, we're gonna move to the horizontal passes across. And as, if you start to dry out, if you're losing that slip, just add a little more oil to the skin. You can use, I'm using one of my facial oils, but you can use grapeseed oil, you can use sunflower oil, you can use jojoba oil. Any of those oils are great for the skin. Okay, I got lost, sorry, we're doing horizontal now. Okay, horizontal passes. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the middle. See those 11s right there? And I'm just gonna squeeze. And I'm gonna just gently circle on that area. And then I'm gonna drain out to one side, release. I'm gonna come back and squeeze in the middle, gently circle. I'm keeping the suction. I'm just taking my hand and circling a little bit and then drain. So we're gonna do that a few times. You can switch hands, circle, drain. And you can repeat this as many times as you want. We're gonna move on to the next move, circle and drain, okay? Then you're gonna take it and squeeze, and we're just gonna go up and down across the forehead. I'm gonna stay on one side right now, all the way to those crow's feet. Squeeze in the middle, up and down, release at the crow's feet. And anytime, say you're doing your up and down and oops, I'll lose section, just squeeze it. And then start doing your movements again, like right there. Crow's feet. anytime you lose suction, all you have to do is put it back on the skin and squeeze. Now we're gonna do the same thing. Stay in the middle a couple strokes, and now I'm gonna squeeze and make my way over to the other side of my face. All the way down, crow's feet. Okay. Then our last move we're gonna do for the forehead with this little cup is circles. So you're gonna squeeze again in the middle, and we're just gonna circle all around the forehead. This is one where you'll probably lose suction many times. Just re-squeeze it. And you're just gonna circle back and forth, all the way across. And you can alternate hands. I think it's easier to use the same hand of the side you're working on. Okay, then what I want you to do while you're up here on the forehead is anywhere, like I have a pull right there, so I'm gonna squeeze that little pull, hang out just for a second, and lift up. Squeeze, hang out for a second, lift up. Even if you don't have those little comma marks above your brows, this is a really good one for it. You can see when I squeeze it, you just get that little lift, and then we're just gonna pull it up. So we're lengthening those muscles, releasing any kind of stagnant blockage to allow for drainage. And then you can come over to this side and do the same thing. Just hold for a second, lift up. Hold for a second, lift up. And then while I'm working my forehead, I always like to just do a couple on my crow's feet. So I'll just hold it there for a second and release. Hold it there for a second and release. Same thing over here. Okay. Then the cups I sell in my shop have a small, medium, large. So I like to use the small one to come back in and just do a little more work on those 11s. Okay, so I'm just pulling, I'm squeezing on that 11 and then draining that muscle, right? So following how that muscle runs along the brow there. And then you can do the other side. This little one, if you don't have a little one, if you just have a big one, you don't need to do this, but I do also really like this little one. Or we're not doing lips, I know right now, but I'm just gonna show you. For the lip lines, these little ones are really good just to, and you'll feel those little crunchies in there, okay? All right, I'm gonna go back, see my 11s. I'm gonna go back, relax it by just squeezing it. Okay, so this is a great routine. I typically try to do this a couple times a week before I do my taping at night. So I'm relaxing all those muscles, and then I'm gonna show you in another video some taping routines that you can do for those 11s and any of those forehead lines. So if you have like a horizontal line on the forehead, like I do, you can go in there and just circle on top of it. Release. Okay. So one thing I want to talk about this cupping is I have a daughter who's in her 20s, and I hear their friends talking about Botox for preventative. Instead of that, committing to Botox where you're spending a ton of money, you're injecting toxins into the skin, you're affecting movement and lymphatic flow of the skin at a really young age, cup. It relaxes those muscles, which is what you're trying to do with Botox. But long term, it's going to be so much healthier for the skin and give you results that long term is going to make your skin function better, have better movement, more natural movement, but without keeping those lines in place. So that's the goal. You want to be able to move. Like I can make a really strong 11, but when I'm not frowning, those 11s aren't sticking, and I'm in my 50s, right? So there are ways. If you're happy with your Botox, do it. But if you're looking for alternatives, these videos are something that can give you an alternative to doing Botox and get results that are very similar. Okay, enjoy the cuffing.